What's up, everyone? And this is Next Level Thinking.
What's up, everyone? It's another great episode of Next Level Thinking. As we always bring you inspirational guests, it's your host, Chris Holmes, as always, keeping you motivated and take it to the next level. But before I even go even further, we have a special guest by the name of
Kellie Kell.
And you can see from her wonderful smile that she's full of great energy, as you can see, just feeling it over there on the camera. But as we get things going, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I see all the positivity, and you got your ring light in the background. So tell the world and the audience what's going on.
So my name is Kellie Kell. My social media is Kellie Kell Show. I am a social media influencer, an artist, an author. I'm a 4-time published author. I empower men. I promote common sense.
Awesome. And wait, did
my
you
headphones over here? I be doing my little rapping.
you do a little something?
Yeah.
That's good. And wait, did you just say you empower and basically motivate men? You don't hear that nowadays. I'm saying that jokingly, of course.
Yeah, I motivate men.
Okay, so with that, I know that's gonna be like, wait, this is something different. So, what got you started, and what I guess was a seed that gets you to really start putting a little bit more positivity for men out there?
I just think okay, so in my opinion, men have a lot of complaints about women and how they operate, but men allow and promote this type of behavior.
Okay.
You know, it's fun to play with, but it's not fun to commit to. So what I'm trying to get like the male species to understand is if you change the way that you think, you could change the world, because us women, we're going by what we think men want or what they say that they want, and by their actions. Like, you kind of say you don't want this type of woman, but then you'll go be with that type of woman. So it's like if you like love yourself more and change the way that you think and the things that you allow, women have no choice but to change to adhere to that man that you become. But, as long as you're allowing it, then of course they're going to be loose as a goose. Don't get me started.
She's like, don't get me started. And I want to key on something that very important. You said internal. And it sounds like you have done a lot of internal growth yourself. And you are reminding us guys that a lot of things that we want to receive, it starts with us. So it's like Absolutely. How you were saying, like how we see the world, the energy we give out, how we treat people. You get it and you put into this, you get a response from that. And I'm glad that you put on that, because it puts the accountability back into us as well. Because if we put out that positive energy and much more, like you were saying, we have no choice but naturally to receive the same feedback.
Absolutely.
And what has been your experience of telling guys that was like, wow, I never would have thought about that? Because, us guys, just being jokers, it just goes over our head because we have our own moments, as you know.
I think it's always like that wow factor. Like once I say it, like the guys may realize like, damn, I am going through this, or, whatever. But what I noticed is nobody really applies it to their lives because it's like people like to be comfortable and content. And what they fail to realize is growth is uncomfortable. Just imagine when we were younger and our legs used to hurt, parents be like, you're growing. Growth is uncomfortable. And people are not willing to be, I think, not necessarily people, I'll say men, it makes them uncomfortable to feel uncomfortable. So men tend to want to always have kind of control over the environment and have a safe space. But by growth being so uncomfortable and unpredictable, it's like, no, I'd rather just stay here where I know I got it, as opposed to taking the risk of losing it all if, it don't go the way that I thought it should go.
And you have a lovely answer with that, because what I'm getting from that, to sum up, is like a lot of things that we want in life comes from stepping outside our comfort zone. And the only way we can stretch and grow is stepping out of our comfort zone. I know I just said that earlier. And it's funny how we see all these great things and we never want to go through the challenges or the adversity or even looking at ourselves. So with that, put the spotlight even more on you. Tell us a little bit from your own experience of how you took a time out to look at yourself and to step outside your own comfort zone for your own internal growth.
Well, I'm actually doing that now. I was in an 8-year relationship with a narcissistic man, and I realized out that relationship I didn't have any identity because we was together 8 years. It took shit for 5 for me to even heal from it. Um, and I had to just kind of like pull myself out of the dating scene and just I'm like, okay, I hate school. Let me at least go to school. Why? Because I want to instill some type of discipline. Like even if it's that, just let me focus on myself and my own personal growth. And then I end up meeting a guy, actually just recently, who was like I'm praying for a certain type of energy or whatnot, and I meet a guy who kind of matches everything that I thought, and he pretty much matched everything that I expected him to be, and then he just broke my heart because I think maybe I was like maybe he was intimidated by me or whatever. So now I'm back to the drawing board at this very moment. And I noticed that like I had to apologize to my fans and followers because I had like an emotional breakdown in front of the world, and I was humiliated in front of the world by this person. So like now I'm like, damn, how do I allow that to happen to me when this is, I empower people to not allow that to happen to them. So like right now, I'm taking a step back and I gotta like just kind of strip myself of everything and rebuild again because although it took 5 years to heal pretty much from my past relationship, I feel like I got my ex in this. I got the same man in a different body. So now I'm trying to figure out what it is about myself that I need to change that I haven't, embarked on or tapped into because there's no way I've I've learned a lesson. However, I'm still going through the same thing. So it's like, what about me do I need to change that I have to like where I can stop attracting the same person because he's just coming in different forms.
And I think
So
it's very big because I love your transparency because a lot of people are afraid to show their flaws. And I know you didn't intend to that, but you're human just like I am. We all through our flaws. We think we had this going on and then something happens. But through your transparency of going through this experience with the people watching, you brought an important factor of like taking a step back. And I think a lot of times, and you even reminded myself while I was listening, is at times when you're in so much going on and we're in this world that's going so fast paced, we have to take time out to step back and look at ourselves and rebuild ourselves. We got to put back what makes me back, like you were saying earlier, our identity. Who am I? As because in this world today, we get so submerged into at times what's going on into a person or a thing, and there's a lot of different things that can like slowly pull ourselves away from ourselves when we lose ourselves. But when you said like take a step back and like, okay, let me put myself back together, find me, find my inner peace, it's something that we all need to do. And I think a lot of times, especially in today's society, we're so quick to rush back into things and we really haven't worked on ourselves yet. Don't you agree?
yeah.
So like, I think that is a great building block from there. But I don't want to skip on this because you have a great mind. What are some of the what are the titles of your 4 books? You say you published 4. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's the
Yeah.
title of them? Go ahead and put them out there.
So I have the Relationship Bible,
Okay.
subtitle for married men only. I have The Art of Loving a Man. I have The Shit Men Don't Know About Women. It's kind of like a tell-all book. And then
Wait. What?
Man versus King.
Okay. So wow, those are powerful titles among themselves. Okay. So I ain't gonna lie, that third title caught me off guard. I was like, well, you was like, it's like there. Tell me about that one though, because it was
The
like pretty
Shit Men
much.
Don't Know About Women. This is just kind of like how Steve Harvey had wrote the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's somewhere along the lines of that. It's just kind of like, hey, I bet you didn't know this. And
Mhm.
then, you read it like, oh, damn, like, so that's what that meant when that happened. So, yeah.
And since you just said that, don't you feel like a lot of times we make assumptions of like how this person thinks? like, okay, I think they mean this way, or that's how that meant, like it just how you just mumble, like, oh, that's what that meant. Because I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
times when we're going through like relationships, even if it's not just a personal relationship with your partner or even in life, we have that time where we think later after it happened and we're like, wait, that's what that meant? Like, oh wow, I missed the
Yeah.
whole cue. Like, what was I thinking?
Yep. I'm going through that now.
Mm. And I feel like that comes down to communication as well. I think I read something earlier where they said like the way to effective communication is to ask questions. And boy, does that take a lot of work. Ooh, that takes a lot of work because you have to make sure like both partners have um understanding on both ends. And if you don't know something, and I have a bad habit of this as well, I'm working on it. Instead of just not saying nothing, assuming I know it, I think it's something maybe just me, like we're so afraid to ask questions for clarity. And I think that it goes hand in hand with relationships. What's your thought?
I agree. I ask questions, and I think that may be like what runs people off, and I guess that's fine. But I'm big on asking questions. I'm big on communication. Um, I noticed that sometimes in situations, people have broken communication, well, shattered communication from their past, or
Mm,
shattered ways of communicating, rather. And when they meet somebody that forces them to communicate effectively, it just kind of it's too much for them. It puts them in that position of being uncomfortable because now it kind of forces them to take a look at themselves and be like, okay, it's me, like I'm the problem.
mm.
So yeah,
And
I definitely think that people should ask questions, and I think it offends people because they don't want to open up. Like they don't want like people want physical intimacy, but not mental
mental,
and
yeah.
emotional. Yeah.
And while you were saying that, I had to laugh at myself because I was like, dang, I had a, I'm getting a lot better at it. But like I find myself just being transparent. Like I have in my mind, like, why'd you ask that question? Like now I gotta look at myself now. Like, am I the problem? Maybe I am. Maybe I did take that wrong. Maybe I should have communicated that a lot better. And you are right. So I definitely agree with that. Is like when a person, I don't know where that come from though. It's like when a person asks a question for understanding, we take it as I guess, intimidation when we shouldn't. We need to take a whole different kind of lens and just look at it as a way of understanding. And I will on camera say I am working on that and getting better. And I think like that's something that we all got to do to keep to improve our lives and communication. So I'm gonna ask this fun question: what are the top three things you think are needed to have an effective relationship? So we have the expertise dropping all these books and much more.
Hmm.
He said,
The
she looked to
top
the
three
side.
things to have a successful relationship. You
Drum
have to
roll.
be secure in your identity,
Okay.
effective communication, and the ability to grow and learn. Like you can't know it all, like, or you need to still be willing to learn. Because if you're not willing to learn, then it's gonna get capped off somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, and with growth comes learning, because the more you learn, the higher your value is. So you got to
Absolutely.
be open to learning and open to change. Because that's how you grow. You have to have effective communication, because great things can go horribly, if not. And you can't travel a journey alongside each other if you don't know how to communicate. Um, and yeah, and you got to know who you are going into the situation and kind of hold true to that. Because if you don't have an identity going into a relationship or a situation, then you'll adapt the identity of your partner. And, as they're growing, because I doubt if anybody is where they want to be, just period. Like, I don't care how much money you got, what you're doing in life. I can guarantee you everybody wants to be better. It's something that you could always do better. So knowing that factor, you have to have your own identity going into a situation, because it's like if I adapt your identity, but you're ever growing, you know, I don't have the tools to do what it is that you doing to get to that level, because that's not me. That's not my identity. It's yours. So I noticed that a lot of people get in relationships and they forget who they are, and they stop doing the things that they wanted to do, or, like the dreams that they had, they just kind of push them to the side and just whatever. And that causes resentment.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, let the church say, man, okay, we want to start the collection plate. So we have the whole going to the prayer out. No, I'm joking. But that is but that is very true. So many people, it goes back to like who you surround yourself with, that old saying. And when you were talking specifically about a partner, people lose their identity, they lose the dreams, the things that they enjoy just to satisfy the other person. And it does lead to resentment, because I feel like, in my opinion, that when you do that for so long, of course it's okay, but eventually, I mean, you think it's okay, but eventually something in you is like, this is not me, this is not me, this is not me, and it gets louder, it gets louder, it gets louder, it gets louder, and then you have this outburst, and you react and you're resistant because you weren't being truly who you were, and now you're clashing possibly with the other partner because this person tried to mold you, or you accepted something that's not you. So it really does key onto what they're saying is know who you are, and having your identity before you move forward. So you dropping all kinds of tips and gems. So with all this, what do you feel like is your sole purpose? I know that's like kind of a deep question, because I like a lot of things you're doing. You're writing, you have the artistic here as well. We can get into that a little bit, but what do you think your purpose in life is?
I'm just a messenger.
Messenger.
Just a messenger.
Just drop the mic right there. So you can't
That's it.
That ain't no way better than say it like that. What is it she receives, she delivers it to us, and then we just go from there. But it's up to us if we receive it, because she
Absolutely.
delivers a message. And a lot of us are so hard headed. And myself too. I can talk about myself because I know I have my moments as well. So what's some of the big what do you have planned in the future coming up?
I'm about to release an album soon, my third album actually.
Okay.
Um, so I think I'm going to title it "Building Sandcastles in the Rain." Then just kind of go off of that. Yeah, I plan on starting a podcast. I just have to stay consistent. I'm needing to build a team of people that could actually help me. I have
And
a
it will
novel
happen.
that I have a novel that is being turned into a movie, so that'll be released next year, summertime. Yeah.
Awesome. All sounds like great things. I want to make sure I hit this one as well, because I know you said you're an influencer. Let me see how I can phrase this question. If a person wants to pursue being an influencer, what is probably the best route to do it? Because I know you see all these different things going on, and maybe you can give them more of a clearer path.
The best route?
Or just answering in the way you think is best.
Well, it just depends on what exactly if they want to be an influencer, you'd have to have something to somebody to influence. That's the first step.
Okay.
You need somebody to influence, and you need influencing content. I'm not, I guess I need a more broader question, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure of how to answer that.
Answer that one.
Yeah, because I'm not sure
Okay,
what
so
exactly that
let me
means.
rephrase it like this. How's your experience with influence? Is that better?
My experience with influencing is extremely stressing. It's very stressing. To be honest, it's time consuming because you have to dedicate majority of your life to it if you want to be successful. But it's stressing. It just depends on what type of content you're doing and what type of information that you're relaying, because if it's something that people, well, it has to be something that like can help people. But if people feel like you have the answers, then they will definitely put all their place all their burdens on you really, really fast with no shame at all. Definitely.
Gotcha. So as we round things up, leave the audience with some encouraging words, and then where can they find your social media?
Love yourself. It's just, it don't get no simpler than that. Just love yourself. My social media is Kellie Kell Show. All across the board, Kellie Kell Show. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. My website's Kellie Kell Show. If you want to book me for a consultation, you can do that through my website. It's kelliekellshow.com, or email me thekellykellshow@gmail.com. So I'm pretty easy to find. You can Google me, but pretty much everything is straight Kellie Kell Show across the board.
Awesome, awesome. I want to definitely thank you for your time, encouraging word, inspiration, and smile, and all that you contribute to my show. And I can hope to continue to share this message and also influence the world, because we all need to smile and be a better version of ourselves. As we wrap things up, it's your host, Chris Holmes, as always, bringing you an inspirational guest to help you take it to your next level. And again, I have my special guest by the name of
Kellie Kell.
And piggybacking off what she said, the most important thing you can do is love yourself. You're given here and birthed here for a reason and purpose. I want you to do yourself a favor and love yourself more so you can love the world. Peace.